37. Read these sentences from paragraph 17. These improvements extend beyond simply aiding in memorization, she added. The exercise also deepened language learners' grasp of how to use their newly acquired words. So these improvements extend beyond simply aiding in memorization. Okay, so which sentence from the excerpt best explains why Dr. Sulpizio feels confident in the conclusion stated in these sentences? So what's the conclusion here? That the exercise also deepened language learners' grasp of how to use their newly acquired words. So I have a question. Does exercise mean the exercise like a problem set, like a quiz, or the exercise like physical bicycling exercise? I'm going to go back up and check that in paragraph 17. I think it means the cyclists. But note here, before we do that, this is a command of evidence question. All the answers are in quotation marks with a paragraph reference. So we need to make sure we clearly identify the conditions of the problem, because only one question or one answer should answer the conditions of the problem, be the correct answer. So that's why I really want to go check paragraph 17 and what exercise they're referring to. So let's go up and do that. Paragraph 17. So here we're talking about the results of the study. The results suggest physical activity in 16 during learning improves that learning. These improvements, that is, these improvements refers to the physical activity and those learning improvements from that extend beyond simply aiding in memorization. She added, the exercise also deepened language learners' grasp. So the exercise here is the bicycling. The bicycling deepened the learner's grasp of how to use their newly acquired words. Okay, so now I think I understand what the statement is, and the condition is I simply need to find evidence that shows the bicyclers had a deeper language learning. What's evidence of that? Okay. A, they were shown 40 words per session with the sequence repeated several times. No, that doesn't show deeper learning. That just shows kind of what the process was and what they were shown, not anything about learning. Therefore, it doesn't answer the question. A is incorrect. B, they also responded to sentences using the new words, marking whether the sentences were accurate or, in the case of the apple is a dentist, nonsensical. Yeah, that's a deeper learning. That's using your newly acquired words. So that could very well be the answer. C, and at the end of each lesson, the students who had ridden bikes performed better on the subsequent vocabulary tests than did the students who sat still. Okay, there we're getting a comparison of the bikers versus the ones who sat still, but we're not getting any deeper learning. This is just the vocab test. This is just learning the words. Remember, our statement talks about your grasp of how to use those newly acquired words, not just how to memorize them. So C is not answering the condition of the problem. It's not evidence of those lines. D, they also became more proficient at recognizing proper sentences than the sedentary students, which is the students who sat still, although that difference did not emerge until after several weeks. Okay, that is also showing a deeper learning, a use of sentences rather than just the words. So that could very well be our answer as well. So here we have two options, B and D. They both seem to meet the conditions of the question, which is kind of unusual for this type of question. So how do we differentiate it? Well, normally we differentiate by comparing specific details of the answer choices and seeing which one is correct. So a couple of things I noticed. They both say they. They're different paragraphs. One's paragraph 11, one's paragraph 14. And using the new words, marking the sentence if accurate, or recognizing proper sentences, we'll both consider those similar ways to have a deeper grasp of how to use the new words. So I'll consider them the same. D adds that it's a comparison to the sedentary students. So I might want to check what's going on with the they. Let's go back to paragraph 11, paragraph 14, see what's happening in those different parts of the passage. So paragraph 11. Paragraph 11 is sort of connected with 7 or 8 to 11, we are outlining what the study process is. How did they perform the study? They got 40 people, half of them rode bikes. They learned the vocabulary by watching words projected on screens. And then afterward, I think our line in paragraph 11 is they responded to sentences using the new words, marking whether the sentences were accurate or, in the case of the apple is a dentist, nonsensical. So that does show, well, does it show a deeper learning? It says they're testing for the deeper learning, but they're not saying whether one group or another actually generated or had a deeper learning. This is simply an outline of the test design and how it was set up to test for deeper learning. This is not the answer to the question, okay? They here refers to all students, not just the bikers. So that's kind of interesting. If we notice the answer choice, I think they both say they, but the theys are not the same because they're completely different paragraphs. 14, they also became more proficient. So who is they here? They probably refers back to 13. And at the end of each lesson, the students who had ridden the bikes performed better on the subsequent vocab tests. So they refers back to the bicycle riders, not all students. There is a difference in they. 14 is also where we're looking at the results of the study. So this is applicable. It's saying the bike riders were more proficient at recognizing proper sentences. Here in paragraph 14, we're talking about the results. So this is evidence that supports the conclusion of Dr. Sulpizio. This is not talking about the design of the test. This is going to be the answer. The correct answer for 37 is D. They is the bike riders, and the bike riders in the results of the study had better proficiency at recognizing proper sentences. In other words, they had a deeper language learning than the people who did not ride the bikes, the people who did not exercise. D is the correct answer for the conditions of the problem. B was tricky. You actually have to go back and check and realize where B is occurring in the passage and realize that the they reference is not to just the bike riders or exercisers. Good problem.